Okay, let's do this. Let us say what needs to be said to finally put a stop to this shitty, unjustified movie, TV, and video game criticism. That's a criticism that should never have existed and should never have been invented. A criticism that proves humans never learn and never evolve for the better and want the world to stay exactly as it is, whereas they should be more open to change. Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and this is my rant video on a movie criticism that has just gotten vastly out of hand in the past couple of years, especially in the first half of the 2020s decade. It's gotten to the point where I finally can't take it anymore, but I have just about had enough of this, and I needed to open up why I wish we lived in a world where the opposite would happen, where people would praise girl power movies instead of hate on them. If only. You may have noticed that's a common trend online now is any movie, TV show, or game with lots of girl power, lots of feminism, and with a strong female character. Or most movies with a female director or screenwriter or producer have been panned and by toxic anti-SJWs and woman haters and male supremacists who just want women to bow before them for the rest of eternity, which is utterly disgusting. And practically every single girl power movie now is labelled as woke and anti-male and has controversy surrounding it, to the point where I'm is all of this toxic hate necessary? Why are people wasting their life away to bring down good girl power movies? That's not good for them. Guys, the species are supposed to... Guys, we as humans are supposed to evolve and change for the better as a species as time goes on. Now the world is more female friendly than it was in the past. Can't you put the past behind you and realise that a world where women have equality to men is far better than a world where women didn't before? With Furiosa bombing so hard recently, and I was also inspired to make this video by Frozen Things Studios' rant on this toxic movie criticism. So please check out his rant, because I couldn't have said it better myself. This evil woke criticism and this lazy criticism needs to stop. Furiosa bombing is a new low for moviegoers. The fact that they wanted it to purposely fail, I mean, shame on them. Like, I heard people say, oh, a woman can't take out all of those men on her own, she's not physically strong enough, and blah blah blah. Well, some women are capable of that. Those sexist haters are just dumb. They don't know anything about women, and goodness knows how they have been brought up. Why would people not want Furiosa to succeed? It is the prequel to a fan favourite Mad Max character, Furiosa. It's literally the Lego Batman movie of Furiosa, and I mean, I don't care what gender the main character is. A female-led prequel spin-off movie can be just as great as a male-led prequel spin-off. And you know what girl power movie started the hate bandwagon for feminist movies? The 2016 Ghostbusters. And don't hate that movie because it has an all-female cast at all, like I constantly let you all know. I just hate it because it's a completely pointless remake of a classic. It's just another unfunny comedy from Paul Feig. He clearly can't direct comedies, and I just feel sorry for all the actresses. Like Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig are some of my all-time favourite actresses from Gilmore Girls and How to Train Your Dragon, and I was disgusted by how their characters were portrayed like their Ghostbusters were portrayed like a joke. Like an all-female Ghostbusters can work. Heck, if I was given the opportunity, I would love to make an all-female Ghostbusters teen movie someday. But the Ghostbusters 2016 trailer was so disliked, so reviled to the point where the dislike button obliterates the like button on YouTube, and Honest Trailers and Screen Junkies and even disabled the comments on their Honest Trailer parody of the film. But ever since then, every time a studio has attempted to give the women some equal roles to the men, the male moviegoers have overreacted as fuck and have become man-childs about it. Like, I mean, even Ocean's 8 got backlash just because the fans thought it was a sexist reboot, so that was favouring females over males, which couldn't be more untrue. Like, why, if the original Ocean's movies, they are fine, but I think a female-led Ocean's movie makes more sense because women are more drawn to jewelry and heists and that kind of thing than men are. So you could have had in the original films a combination. You could have had equal male and female members of the heist team, and you know, an all-female team, it's completely harmless. It shows an alternative universe in the Ocean's realm. So I don't get people's problem with that here. And plus, Sandra Bullock and Kate Blanchett and Rihanna and Anne Hathaway, they did a stellar job. They know exactly what they are doing as actors. So I think it's a real shame that Ocean's 8 underperformed, so Warner Brothers haven't moved ahead with Ocean's 9 or 10, because I would have loved an all-female Ocean's trilogy. You know, in a world with equality, we would have a trilogy with a all-male one and an all-female one, to be fair. But because this world is still a sausage fest and sausage party, doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon, sadly. And people also heartlessly wanted the best movie of 2020, Birds of Prey, to flop, and people were prejudging it and calling it absolute garbage before that they'd even seen it. I'm like, Margot Robbie, she is one of the most intelligent people working in Hollywood right now, and she is way smarter than to make an anti-male movie. That's not what she did at all. Like, look at the Avengers and look at the Justice League and even the Fantastic Four. There's only like one female in each of those teams. So it's about time we had an all-girls group of kick-ass superheroes, isn't it? She does have a point, and the film was not sexist. It was not making all the male cops bad, as it was a really. It also showed the female characters as flaws. Like, it was Harley's real redemption story after she left the Joker to become like Cassandra's mother. Cassandra is by no means a saint. She is a jewelry thief who does find a life and a purpose again, and when she meets Harley. So yeah, Birds of Prey is by no means male bashing, as some say. Even though everybody raved about the first Wonder Woman, one of the few girl power movies in the past 7 years to not be bashed as being woke, thank heavens, because it ain't. But sadly, its sequel, Wonder Woman 1984, was called too PC and too feminist, and I'm like, why? What is the issue with showing, you know, Kristen Wiig's character Barbara Cheetah stand up for herself against men who are preying on her? That happens in real life, you know, and so it's kind of something to cheer on women when they stand up for themselves, not to root against them. And you know what? Raven's line in X-Men Dark Phoenix 5 years ago about when she says to Charles about ex-women, that's a line had me applauding. I'm like, this line doesn't deserve the hate it's getting whatsoever. I mean, an ex-woman movie would be wonderful because she is right. The women are always saving the men. It was Jean in X-Men Apocalypse that literally saved the day and defeated En-Zar. It was Raven that saved the future in X-Men Days of Future Past when she made the decision to not assassinate Trask. And it was Jean that saved everybody from the flood from the collapsing dam in X-Men 2, X-Men United. It was Logan's daughter, Lara, or X-23 in Logan, that saved his life from the clone. So, yeah, X-Women rule. I'm gonna get this out there. I think the Star Wars fans, who you can never please and are never satisfied, are being far, far too harsh to the acolytes, to the point where I think Star Wars is going to call it a day and have a break for now, because I don't know if it can take much more hate at this point. People are going as far as saying Star Wars is dead just because of the acolyte. I'm like, grow up, my young Jedis and Sith. It's like moviegoers and TV viewers and gamers want everything to have a white male lead. Well, not all humans are white male. We can have a diversity. Oh, and 2019 is where the woke term really got old and frustrating. Like people were calling Terminator Dark Fate woke Terminator just because it killed off John Connor in favor of a trio of female characters. But I think killing off John Connor really put Sarah Connor to the test with the loss of her son. And the women have always been a strong part of the Terminator franchise, so it's great for Sarah to have more girl pals after being surrounded by men for the past several movies. And Elizabeth Banks's Charlie's Angels, I will eternally defend. Male moviegoers were saying, oh, Elizabeth Banks is saying it's the men's fault Charlie's Angels is bombing. Well, she isn't lying. It is male moviegoers that are not giving their cash to the movie and are just counting on the women to see it. I kind of agree with Elizabeth Banks there. Sorry. I mean, of course, she doesn't mean all men. Of course, I'm a man and I love the movie as a fun, guilty pleasure. And I think the hate for Marvel and strong female characters, well, has gotten so irritating. Like people had already made up their minds that The Marvels was going on their top 10 worst of 2023, and made up their minds that they were going to boycott it and wanted it to be the lowest grossing MCU film before they'd even watched it. Whereas if they'd been more open-minded, they would have seen that there are way worse Marvel movies than The Marvels. Well, Marvel was praised for Strong Women to begin with, particularly for Black Panther, but then sadly people jumped on the hate bandwagon for She-Hulk season 1 fast. Sorry, but they loved Miss Marvel and gave Miss Marvel a pass, but why hate She-Hulk? Like She-Hulk, I still don't know why people dislike it. It is leagues more entertaining and heartfelt than Ang Lee's bore-fest of a Hulk movie. And those celebrating a She-Hulk season 2's cancellation, wow, that's kind of heartless. And now in defense of one of my all-time favorite movies, and Barbie, even with all the prejudging of it being woke and anti-male, the film has still achieved, it's one of the few movies with that criticism to achieve box office history. But Greta and Margot would respect men as well as women. They gave the Kens equally iconic moments as the Barbies. That was the point of the movie. I wish more people would get that. But that both genders have, well, can work together as equals in society. There is no need for a matriarchal or patriarchal society ruling over the other gender. They never made Ken the main antagonist to be sexist or to put the Barbies above the Kens. They made Ken the antagonist to prove a point. You can stand up for more equality for your gender, but don't go too far. Don't enslave the other gender or take their houses by any means. And Barbie was of course going to be a feminist movie. Ruth Handler designed the doll to be a role model for women. Barbie was on the moon before a woman could have their own credit cards and bank accounts at that time. Why are moviegoers surprised that Barbie has some feminist messages to it? It's what Barbie is kind of all about. And to the people that defended the Academy for snubbing Margot and Greta of Best Actress and Best Director, I certainly won't subscribe to their channels or ever watch their videos. So yeah, I've had my rant, and I pray that one day we never hear of the woke movie criticism again. Cheers to girl power. Oh, and another thing to add, without women, men wouldn't exist. So, yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant and just hearing me vent away. And what are your thoughts on the woke criticism? Do you agree it's the worst movie criticism of all time and the most unjustified one? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.